Welcome back to Vigga VTV. This is the Pipebomb session where we talk about everything and everything. Today I've got my co-host Illa Rocks.
Yes, sir. Yes,
my
sir.
special guest. This is what you're saying.
We're here.
So our topic today is going to be racism in the UK. Obviously, you guys know what's happening with the whole Black Lives Matter and all the madness that's been going on.
Animals live matter.
Yeah, true. So what's your thoughts on it, lads? Obviously, I want to... Okay, because we're all three black men here, so...
Firstly, I would say it's a positive thing.
Yeah?
Why? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, the movement is positive.
It's a positive movement in a degree.
Yeah.
But does that positive movement bring change? Does it bring any kind of change?
I think it does.
How? And how is it? Yeah, I don't think it does.
Since the Black Lives Matter movement, you can't post a racist thing and expect to be in employment. I think that's a major deterrent for people to be outright racist.
But why is it taking this to wake up though? Why is it this has been happening for years? And
it has, but everything's a progress. It's a process, isn't it? It's a process.
Do you see it's a trend though? Sorry, Hilla.
Yeah. Do you think it's a trend?
Because now everyone cares of what it's been going on for years.
To me, whether or not it's a trend, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The fact that it could be a trend is a good thing because that means it has traction.
But all trends, they will die eventually. And just because someone gets removed from their position in work because of racism doesn't mean that the institution in which they got removed from is not racist. If that makes sense. True.
And a lot of these campaigns now, they're doing stuff because they feel they need to for their company brand and their image. So do you actually give a fuck?
Well, again, like I said, for me, the motivation and why you need to be more transparent is a positive thing. You have to be.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, it's a process. It's a process.
I guess I see that. I mean, I think transparency works and it is key, but I think it's one of those things where, because of the movement, so to speak, or the positive movement, people would rather be on the side of positivity rather than on negativity.
Yeah, true.
Do you understand? So align their values more with that rather than actually really know about what it feels like. So for example, with me speaking from my experience, I never was conscious of racism and all those things until I came into the UK. Over a decade ago now. And I lived in Swansea. And I was the first black kid in school, was the first black kid on my street.
Yeah.
So it was really, really challenging.
Kind of world.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most times, it's not that people hold hate, it's more what their view on things represent to us as black people and how they need to be educated on it. So for example, I remember they were really fascinated with my hair.
Yeah.
So they would always touch my hair and be like, yo, this feels like sheep. It feels like sheep and shit like that. Obviously, they was just saying how it felt like. That's the closest connection in their mind to what that texture feels like.
Yeah. Is it kind of a case of fear of the unknown? So you don't know it, so you're you have a fear for it or you embrace it. Yeah. How you see black.
I think most people, even outside of London, they only really, outside London, Manchester, and all these main cities, they're only familiar with black people from TV.
Yeah.
So it's
they can only base it on stereotypes that they've seen on.
And I think that's why I agree with you in terms of the positive idea behind the movement, in terms of bringing more awareness and people knowing that this it's not just something that's happening in America. It does happen here in an underlying sense. What has been your experience with racism? Because you're from Barking and Dagenham, and
Essex.
Get me shout my Essex people out there. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, alright, so originally I grew up in E1, so near Shadwell area, predominantly Asian, blacks, whites. So it was diverse. So I didn't receive no outright racism. Then I moved to Barking and Dagenham. I was 16 in it when I moved.
Yeah.
And it was a change.
What year ago was this? Are we talking about?
I don't know, 2004?
4? Yeah.
About 2004.
Right.
Very peak.
Outright, they would say to you, I'll be walking down the street and they'll come up to my face and be like, you black.
Yeah. In Swansea every Sunday, go back home, you funky monkeys. Like standing.
It's not funny, but
When we was
it's mad, isn't
going,
it?
when we was going, when we was going to church
Yeah.
on like this particular bridge, like bare people was just having a go. Like it's just a trip. It's like I only get to say all the racist shit I can
I'm
say.
sure like most black people in Essex have walked down the street and a car's drive by, either says something called dash an egg. 100%. Someone, have you experienced that? Have you experienced that?
I mean, for me, when I come into Essex, it was a good experience. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had my white chick who was a model. It was a good experience. I'm an African boy coming from Nigeria, and I landed in Essex. It was a kind of good experience.
Yeah.
I didn't really, even when I was in college and stuff like that, I didn't really see a lot of that. But I do know that Barking and Dagenham has like the strongest hold and the last stronghold of the BNP party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Harrod Hill and them places.
Yeah. See Harrod Hill, like
Harrod Hill was that had a reputation. You know about Harrod Hill people? Don't come in if you're black. Shout out to non-racist Harrod Hill people. Let's just put that in.
100.
Yeah, that area.
But I remember like Fridays when we used to like finish off college, we would go there. Like Romford Centre, it was just tension. There's just this tension.
You know what it is, yeah? I feel like because there was a kind of niche or kind of fetish for black men, and I feel it kind of bred competition in the sense where taking my girls, like that kind of thing. So all of us have been at one point in like interracial relationships. Would you say that kind of?
No, that's happened to me. That's happened to me plenty of times. Like no reason. I'll be on the bus with my girlfriend and. At the time, and a girl would just be screwed. It's like looking at me. And I'm a man's man. Like if you look at me, I'm gonna say, "What are you looking at?" You know what I'm saying? So that's what I said. And it's like he's just angry about the fact that you know what I mean. He didn't say, "Oh, why are you with?" or anything like that. He just targeted everything towards me for no reason. Do you know what I mean? I count that loads of times.
You know what it is, because these men like fantasize about these girls, and we probably got the girls they fantasize about, and it hurts them. Like, and that kind of can breed racism as well. Yeah. Shout out to them people. We love you.
Oh shit! I mean, like for me personally, being with white girls, well, like she was Swedish, so she was really good looking.
Oh, what's her name? Emily.
Yeah, fuck off. I mean, it was super fun because obviously I'd got a lot of screw face from black women as well.
Saying that, let's jump on that. Do you think like when you're like with a white girl, obviously when you go racism in general, like, you think that it's in-house racism as they like black women?
Big time.
Of course, they're not happy with you being taken by. A white
but it's funny though because then they hate racists, but then they're racist at the same sense. Like,
so I think every race is racist.
Oh, is it? You don't believe like how they say it is like. As a black person, you can't be racist. You can discriminate, but you cannot be racist.
Right, that's a new.
Because racism is like you have to be in a place of power, whereas black people you can't be in a place of power. Like the top person is.
Black people in places of power are racist to black people. I think black people are most racist.
That's a spot on key. You know why? Because they're in that position. They think, nah, man, that's for me. Like,
you know what I mean? And it's limited resources as well.
Is that what you think, or is it? Is there a situation hold on. Is there a situation where they're thinking, like they've ticked their minority list.
The
quotas. I can't help nobody. I can't bring nobody else in. And I don't want to bring somebody else in.
That will jeopardize my position. That's real.
It's messed up.
That's fucked up. Is that not fucked up?
Of course, that's systematic racism.
Thank you, sir. That circles back into the whole ideology of okay, it's cool. It seems like it's a trend. I hope it's not a trend. Do you know what I'm saying? And everyone is, like you said, if you do something racist online, you get a kick. I mean, fucking what's his name? Excuse my French. Trump is not getting a kick for it or stick for it.
Yeah, but
he's congratulated for being transparent.
He's not blatant like that. It's not blatant like that.
I think we're in a time and age where you can't really be blatant like that anymore. You can be subtle. There's the other guy. I think the other one is running for presidency, who's quite blatant. He wrote the Prison Act bill with Clinton, and he's running for presidency. He's very blatant. But it's one of them ones where it's like, I think I've heard the ideology that racism comes from an aspect of a race trying to protect itself. It's propagation. So there is, like anything in life, there's a positive aspect of things and there's a negative aspect of things. Do you think there's a positive aspect of racism?
A positive. It would be a racist. It would be a racist that would.
You agree with
Would-
positive?
would-
I love that.
Do you know what I mean?
I like
You
that.
couldn't.
But then, are you racist, yeah? If you're in that position, let's go back to the guy in power.
Yeah.
You're there, you're just striving, you worked hard for 10 years to get there. You've got your white approved checklist done, so they approve you, like, you know. Then you get there, brother's like, bro, come bust me through, man. And you know he's going to jeopardize your team.
Yeah.
No.
Are you racist then?
No, but that's not racist. Though.
What?
That's what?
Why?
What? So me rejecting someone that is a lesser candidate, like he's not the best candidate. I'm only considering him based upon his colour that is the same colour as mine.
You're going into intricacies now. Say, for example, the more time the statistics is that they of course there's that idea of if you're more good in your job, if you have more expertise, you should be considered for it, whether or not you're white. But based on how the system is, there's less likely that there's going to be a black male who's an expertise for that position and considered for that position, or there's more, and it could be the percentage of just how many.
Don't agree with that. Don't agree with that.
You don't think so?
No, I think that as black people, we're reaching out to almost every single occupation, and the way.
But there's less of us reaching for those positions, so there's less opportunity of us being put in those positions. Like,
give me one example, like a job that there's.
How many football managers are there that are black?
Real.
Yeah, no, you're right. But again, that's.
But there's a lot of black footballers.
Yeah. That's.
Hear about the York story. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson wrote him a recommendation letter for a Charlton job, still didn't get it. Man's you know.
Well, it's well documented that is for a black manager. It's difficult for you to get there.
So that's the systematic idea. Just to bolster your point, is the idea of how the systematic racism is still there, and I think in Britain it's more so. There's less.
Of course,
you know them one day.
That's why. You see when all this BLM come out. You see a lot of your white friends. I guarantee you.
All lives matter.
Battling against it.
But I think some of them were uneducated to the point where they thought that they were discriminating every it's like they said about the building like Grenfell. Like, it's not saying that every building doesn't count, but at the moment we're talking about Grenfell because what happened.
Of course.
And what happened with Black Lives Matter because but some people weren't educated to they didn't know what that was, that kind of thing. You know? So whose phone is that? That's supposed to be off. But yeah, we'll continue. You know, It's what we do here. You know. But you know, the thing is,
I do understand your point, man. I do understand your point, but with me, what I'd say is, it's a positive thing. At the end of the day, I think it's a perfect time because everybody's stuck at home. And they're being told to research. If you don't understand, obviously you can't. There's no way for you to understand it through, say, a white person's eyes. How the same way they will not see it from my eyes. So if you do your research, then that's when you get to understand and see. It's blatant. It's there. It's there. Well, as long as you do your research, you will fully understand. And any person that's saying, all lives matter, they're uneducated.
I don't agree with that. Personally, I think all lives do matter.
No, of course.
But I would say, especially Black lives, and to bring it into what you were saying, you're right. Like it is one of those things where it's like just like the Grenfell, it's about the nowness of things and how the brutality of police with Black people is becoming more evident and showing up more. So that's why we're speaking about it more now. But I think it'll be interesting though for us to also go into that idea of the a lot of white people who were very instrumental in bringing about.
It has to be. Do you understand
what I'm saying?
But also, shout out to them white lads, All them white lads that when argued Black Lives Matter because it was trending, you white lads are white lads for life. Like, support the thing forever. You know, that's what I have to say to that man. You know,
there's always going to be trend people who always following trend in it, but it's one of them ones where like we're always going to know who's really down for the nigga cause because Buddy just released a song called everybody wants to be cool but nobody wants to be a nigga anyway. Everybody wants to be black but no one wants to be a nigga.
Wants to strive for,
you know what I'm saying?
So just to round up, I thought we'll go quickly like what your experience of racism was and how it affected you. So Illa, quickly hit us with.
I'll say like my experience with racism in the UK is very much more on a very subconscious level.
Yeah.
So it's very subtle. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're not conscious to certain things, do you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna know. I come from Nigeria, so I've had an idea of the whole colonial thing and how the system of colonialism has affected Nigerians in general, and even coming here has made me open my eyes to more things and how, you know, the system of division works and how people get segregated and stuff like that. So for me personally, I think at the end of the day, like, love will always conquer things, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? As long as things are done in love and in a place of understanding. One thing I rate about the whole Black Lives Matter thing is that a lot more white people are taking that role and position of listening. You know what I'm saying? They're advocating that, look, don't say anything, don't add that I was on this Instagram handle and it was just literally like, we're just here to listen.
Yeah,
we don't know anything. We're not here to interfere.
Can't speak because I'm not in that.
Let us know. I can't speak because I'm not.
The most intelligent thing to do, man.
Exactly. That's wisdom, because then you can get wisdom. You can really understand what it is, and it's already been spoken of. You know, I think a lot of people have always thought that our music was some sort of, but our music for a lot of us is therapy. That's where a lot of men then go and, yo, this is what I've experienced. This is what I've gone through.
It's a way to express themselves.
Exactly.
No,
so. Like, shout out to everybody who's still listening, who's still finding ways to advocate for change. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as an artist myself as well, I try to speak about those things sparsely in my music.
Cool. Show.
Yeah, me, I've had a spectrum of different types, different levels.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for instance, mainly in this country, it will always be subtle. It will always be like a systematic racism that you sort of encounter.
So it will always pass by your conscious mind.
And one thing that I realised is, like, for instance, my name on paper.
Yeah, bro.
If you see it, you would not know that I speak like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You just think that, this person is a black person, probably a freshie.
Yeah. Bro, your name on paper will stop you from getting certain jobs.
Yeah.
And it's when they see me and it's like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you born here? Yeah, I was born here.
No, like most black people who are serious about any kind of ambitious endeavor have to learn a white voice.
That's real.
You have to learn your version of your white voice.
It's always good to be able to adapt. It's always good. It's always good to be able to adapt.
I love that.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, I've had that. I've had racism where, from when I was 16 going into a club, all my friends go inside the club. The bouncer stops me. He goes, "It's not your day, mate."
Peak.
It's not your day.
Yeah.
No reason. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
I've had all types.
So there we have it, guys. Like, racism is a thing that affects everyone, especially us black men, and it's a time to make change happen. And we only make change happen. We act on what we do. You know, words without actions are dead.
Yeah.
So
100%.
this is the Pipebomb session. I also want to thank everyone that subscribed so far.
Yes.
Click the like button, subscribe. This is the Pipebomb session. Massive thanks to Illa. Thanks to Atkins. Boom!